I'm going to just go on record and say that the argument between Kody that we witnessed as they were standing outside in the snowy driveway of Robyn and Kody's house was fugazi. It was straight bullshit.
Sparkles.
There's nothing in me to make me believe that this was actually an argument or a disagreement between the two of them. Now, many of you share this same opinion. Many of you saw this argument and it just something was wrong with it. You couldn't put your finger on it. I think I nailed it down. Some of you had your own ideas. I know this from having the 2 lives right after the episode aired. I want to hear what you guys have to say because I think it will be very interesting to find out what your opinions are. So leave those down below in the comment section. But here's my take. First of all, I realize that in reality TV shows, everything doesn't get caught on camera. Like they just don't have them around and they get in an argument and it's like a fresh take argument between each one of the cast members of the reality show. Usually what happens is there will be an argument, a disagreement that happens off camera and the producers or the folks involved with the production team will find out about the argument and they'll ask to basically reenact or dramatize the actual argument. So you have 2 people who have a disagreement. They know what they're talking about. They know they're going to be having that second argument on the same topic for the cameras. They come out and they basically state their side. What happens in this particular case, you have a disagreement from people who are colluding with one another. So neither one of them actually want to make the other one look bad, but they want to have a disagreement, stand there and raise their voices and talk with intensity, but they aren't really saying anything. If I listen to the 2 of them argue, and you get away from like the, what do you mean, Robyn? And all that, and you actually listen to what they're saying and what they're talking about, there isn't a disagreement there. They aren't disagreeing. Robyn is just merely insisting on a point. You need to contact your kids. Your kids need you. And she said that 4 or 5 times. And I think the reason why she said it so many times in the course of the argument, she said it several times and at the end of each one of her speeches because she wanted to be sure that this particular thought process made it to the final edit. She wanted to make sure it's on the show. So you just keep saying the same old thing over and over again so they at least have at least one statement of you saying this particular thing. This is why it's so important for her to come out and say, your kids need you, your kids need you, your kids need you, but she doesn't supply any additional information. If you get in an argument and that point is important to you, you will state that point and then you will elaborate on that point. You don't just say a catchphrase and leave it there. Just, the way people talk. Nobody just throws out, your kids need you. And then you guys talk about something else. Well, what did I do wrong? Your kids need you. You'll talk about how the kids need you, what the kids are missing out on, what came up to make you think that today is the day that we're going to have the conversation about the kids missing you. What happened in the kid's life to make you think, you know what? We need to nail this down. The second thing, I'm going to have a video that's specifically going to talk about Robyn rolling out her baby dad and the excuses and things like that. The excuse bombs that were being dropped as to why they were acting the way they were acting. But we can't ignore the history of this particular program. If Robyn was so offended about Kody's non-involvement with his children, where was that offense years ago? Where was that strength of position and disgust when Kody was sitting on your couch and his daughter got on a plane and went to go get surgery? Where was that disgust when it actually would have made a difference? See, right now, it's easy to say how disgusted you are and how offended you are that he doesn't spend a whole lot of time with his kids and how he didn't deal with his kids and put a best foot forward with his kids and make time for his kids. Now that he's around your kids 100% of the time and you have them 100%, but it would have been way more effective if when you came into the family, you made that insistence. When you came into the family and he said to you, hey, babe, I know I have 12 children already, 3 wives already, but I'm going to jump in my car and drive 5 hours to see you and your children. And I'm going to spend the weekend with you and your kids to get to know you better. Now, if she was that staunch about the involvement of a parent, the involvement of a father, she would have said to herself and she would have said to Kody at that time, whoa, 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 whoa. There's no way in the world I'm going to let you jump in the car and drive 5 hours away from your family when most of your family, especially the school-age children, are home and they're off and you could spend time with them. I'm not going to let you drive 5 hours to come see me and my kids. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in my car and come down there and see you guys and visit with you guys because I'm so pressed about the importance of family. It also struck me that if the family in and of itself was so important to Robyn, why did her story change? Her story changed. Yes, her story changed. Originally, she said that she wanted to have sister wives and she sit on a porch with the sister wives and the sister wives relationship was so important to her. Having a big, huge family, which basically revolved around the sister wife relationship, was so valuable and important to her. If you notice, she didn't say anything about Kody spending time with those other women and trying to reconnect with those other women and heal from the relationship with those other women. She didn't say anything about the other women except for when she wanted to blame the other women for Kody not having a close relationship with his children. Funny how that works. I've been in a few arguments, romantic arguments. I've been in arguments with my friends, family members, etc., like everybody else, co-workers. I've never been in an argument where I'm arguing with somebody about something that I've done and they find offense with it. And at the same time, they say that I've done something that was so offensive, they're actually making excuses as to why I did it. I've never experienced that. You left the toothpaste cap off, the damn toothpaste getting all nasty and stuff, but I understand why you did it. Like, nobody does that. Okay? That's not a thing. People don't do that. If you're mad at somebody, you're mad at them. And like I said at least twice for the 2 lives, if you are mad enough that you're having an argument with your significant other, that you say to yourself, you know what? I need to remove myself from the situation. People do that because they're afraid they can't control themselves and they're afraid they're going to mess around and catch a case. If they keep sticking around, they're going to catch a case. So they get in their car and they drive off, which is always a sign that, like, okay, well, we need to slow things down because you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, Holmes. So the fact that he got in his car, it was so heated that he got in his car and drove off tells me a lot. He left the house. Now, I might have left a room, but I never walked out of my house. Not my house. He walked out of the house, got in his car, and drove off. And then when he gets back, she's out front waiting for you. She come meet you at your car. Like I said before, if a woman come down and meet you at your car, that means you don't live there no more. She done changed the locks. Your key don't work. That's why she meeting you on the porch. Hello, how are you? Yeah, look, we need to figure this out. Because that key don't work. We need to figure this out. That's how that goes. Okay? And if she's that mad, the conversation is way different. And I know they try to come off like they're these super connected, super in tune, emotionally developed individuals, but clearly they're not because of the things that they're arguing about and the things that they're disagreeing about. One of the reasons why I think that this is fugazi is because if you listen to the way Robyn sets up a lot of the arguments, did you try to call any of the children? Did you try to call anyone? Like, she's really concerned? That should have been a question that you asked before you blew up on the man, if you were so assaulted by what he was doing and what he wasn't doing as far as contacting his kids. That would have been a conversation you had already had. You already have the information. So why are you asking the question now? This is one of those things that they're doing to try to set it up so that they can make the argument that they're doing everything to reach out to the children, because they've received a lot of flack for how Kody is treating the children and the family being torn apart and the effect that the breakup is having on the kids. They received a lot of flack for that. They realize it, they recognize it. Now this is their way of trying to remedy it. One of the other things they're trying to do is, do you remember when Robyn was at the tell-all and she made a big production of, I need permission in order for me to truly be happy with Kody. I need the women to give me specific permission. And Christine basically said, there's no way in the world I'm meeting with her and kissing her behind and giving her permission. That's not going to happen, which I completely agree with. What she's doing now by this argument, both her and Kody, is this is their way of asking us for permission. This is their way of trying to make it okay that the two of them are dating, because everything about it, they set up the straw man as far as the whole reason why the family broke apart is because Kody didn't love the family enough. What difference does that make if we're talking about the kids? They would be mad, if anything, of the symptom of you never being in love with their mother, which would be the fact that you abandoned their mother, the fact that you abandoned those relationships with those kids. That's why they would be mad. You walked out on those relationships because you didn't care about them, because you didn't value them, because you weren't in love with their mother. Is that what we're supposed to take away from this thing? Like I said, it's a fugazi storyline that's not well thought out. Another big issue that I have, she's been trying to ask these leading questions, and how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Have you called this one? Have you called that one? There was a time during the talk back where she did the exact same thing.
I can't really be in a full relationship with him if he's going to be estranged from my children.
What?
Do you want to be an engaged father?
Oh, it'd be nice if she'd make it easy for me to be engaged, but she separated me from it.
Do you want to be an engaged father?
Of course I do.
That's what I thought.
See, what kind of stupid ass question is that? Do you want to be an engaged father? No. Say it the way I want you to say it. Do you want to be an engaged father? If you listen close, she says, that's what I thought.
Of course I do.
That's what I thought.
This was the first attempt they had where they were trying to direct our blame and our ire onto these women because Kody didn't want to have anything to do with them prior to them breaking up. See, that's what it comes down to. And that's the fugazi part of it. If you guys weren't investing into these relationships prior to the breakup, you can't sit there and act like you're surprised that they're not breaking their necks and breaking their backs trying to come over there and hang out with you or make a way for you to come back around. Or when you show up to family events, all of a sudden they're going to drop everything and turn their backs on the parent who was actually there for them. If their moms were actually there for them through most of this turmoil, most of this confusion, then the kids are going to be loyal to their mothers because their mothers were loyal to them. If you weren't loyal to your kids are not going to show loyalty to you. It's really not that hard of a thing. Part of what makes these types of ad libs or improvisational acting pieces so difficult is that in order for them to pull this off, they actually have to understand the character that they're playing. They don't understand the character they're playing. They don't understand that in order to be that person who genuinely cares about your kids, you have to understand what it's like to genuinely care about some kids and genuinely care about those relationships. And therefore, you suffer because of the loss of those relationships. If the relationship was non-existent, your emotions are going to come out flat. And that's what I see when I see this. Again, I'm going to come out with specific videos talking about the excuses. I'm going to be talking about Robyn and I'm going to be talking about Kody. So make sure you look for those. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you guys think it's fugazi. You think this is real reality TV. I want to hear from you. This is My Take. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality and I'm out. 'Cause I've been living life right like